There's a little thunder outside, and Pook is a little concerned he may start barking at any moment. Anyway, guys, hey, it's Son of a Bob. I'm here doing a little collaboration with DanO from the I'll Be Droned channel. That's ILLBEE, droned. We've been chatting back and forth through Gmail about a collaboration he thought we might put together on the Part 107 certification. So let's get on with it.
Hey everyone, I'm DanO from I'll Be Droned. Good evening, Bob, and thanks for that great intro. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I've been flying a picture drone for a little over a year, and I've just recently got into acro drones. Got a long way to go there, a lot of work to do. Anyway, I love your channel, Bob. It's great. Your videos are always informative and concise. Well, informative anyway. Just kidding, Bob. They're great. Always to the point and spot on. Can I pick your brain about the Part 107?
Sure. Shoot.
Okay, Bob. It's your backyard and your ball. We play by your rules. So I'm gonna shoot. What are the advantages of me getting my 107 certification?
So the primary advantage to getting certified is there's some reason for it. Okay. The primary advantage to getting certified is that you can make money with your drone. It's not to say you can't make money with your drone if you're not certified. It's just that you face some hefty fines. And you made a comment on one of my videos that let me go back to before I get to the second advantage. And it's that if you're Part 107 certified, yes, the FAA regulations carry significant weight, but if you're a hobbyist, they tend to be more suggestions. However, I would highly encourage any hobbyist to follow the regulations because you make it harder on all of us when you don't. The second advantage is there's certain regulations you can get waived. For instance, I have a Part 107.29 waiver that allows me to fly at night. As a hobbyist, you're only, or as a Part 107 certified without the waiver, you're only allowed to fly during the day or during civil twilight. And if you do fly during civil twilight, and I'll let you look up the definition of that, you have to have lights attached to your drone that allow it to be seen at 3 nautical miles by any manned aircraft that might be around. Another waiver that I had, it just expired, was a 107.41, which allowed me to fly in restricted airspace on Galveston Island. When I was down filming the Pleasure Pier, and if you've never seen my Busted at the Pleasure Pier video, it's way down that list. I realized I was right on the edge of airspace for the Galveston airport. So I applied for and did receive a waiver allowing me to fly in that airspace. All I had to do before I flew was to contact the air control tower, let them know I had the waiver and where I was going to fly, what time I was going to fly, how long I was going to fly, and how high I was going to fly. There is a lot of air traffic in and out of Galveston Island, and a lot of it's very low flying. So this is one of those regulations you really want to follow closely.
Does me trying to be a YouTube creator with monetized videos require me to have my certification? I use the word trying sincerely.
That's actually a good question, but let me go to the point of you trying sincerely. The channels I subscribe to are all full of YouTube creators who are trying sincerely, so don't sell yourself short. You get better and better every video I see you do. None of us are going to be Casey Neistat quality YouTube content creators, at least not yet. None of us are going to be Peter McKinnon style or quality creators, although I'd like to one day get there. But back to your question regarding certification and monetization, the short and simple answer that people may not like is yes. If you want to monetize your videos on YouTube, you're going to have a Part 107. Now, they're technically, and I'm not suggesting it, but technically there's a couple ways around that. Number one, YouTube doesn't monetize you till you hit 10,000 views. And I can tell you I'm at almost 14,000, 13,500. And they were supposed to review my account at 10,000, within a week come up with a decision whether or not they would monetize me, and I haven't heard diddly from them. I may have to figure out how to get a hold of them. But that's neither here nor there, because as far as I understand it, they don't send out your first check until you make $100. So technically, until they pay you, you're not actually making money off your videos. So if you're intending on getting your Part 107, or you're working on it and you're wanting to get your videos out there, I guess technically you could argue that you weren't being monetized. I don't know if you get away with that or not. I can tell you, if they did approve my monetization today, and I've been at this since last February, I'd probably have made $5. YouTube is not a big money-making thing. It's what you do with it. A lot of people do merch stores. They do Amazon associate accounts, etc., etc.
Okay, Bob, where do I start? I'm kind of lost here. Do I take classes? Do I have to make a purchase besides the fee for my certification, Bob? Fill me in on that.
So where do you start? Depends on how OCD you are about things. I started on the FAA website and printed off almost everything I could find related to drones, the UAS regulations, and there's a ton of material there. Then I started watching videos on YouTube, pretty much everything I get my hands on. I'm one of those people, before I dive into something new like that, like before I dove into YouTube, before I dove into making my limited liability company, I will do dozens, if not hundreds of hours of research and reading and watching video. There's a lot of good video out there. But at some point, it really does pay, and you can do it without taking a course, but it really does pay to sign up for one of these courses. Now, I'm going to say I originally signed up for a course that cost $250. The guy's a good teacher. It's a good course, but it was started back when Part 107 was kind of new, and I think he wasn't exactly sure what all was going to be on the test. So everything that came in that manual that we printed off, he threw into a video. So it got to the point it was very confusing for me. I was getting very frustrated because I knew he was throwing stuff at me I didn't have to know, but I didn't know which stuff it was that I was going to end up not having to know. And I actually got to the very end of that course and was so frustrated, I said, the hell with it. And I found another course called Remote Pilot 101. I believe the gentleman's name was Jason. And I got it. It was discounted at $99, and that's $99 for life. As anything new goes up, you have access to it. As the whole course changes, when it's time for you to renew, you have access to it. So it's great. And he threw in everything you needed and pretty much nothing you don't need. And they make stellar videos, and I give him a lot of credit with me going to Terrell, taking my test and passing it pretty much with ease. So if you want to get into it, there's a lot of ways to do it, but taking advantage of all the resources.
Do you fly your drone professionally, Bob? Is there a large market for licensed drone operators? Can I make a living out of flying my drone? I fly it for free anyway. What the heck?
So yes, I do fly my drone professionally, and you can go to my YouTube channel, Far Reach Productions LLC, and see some of the videos that I've done. And once again, because I fly professionally, I do have to have my certification.
What kind of opportunities could I pursue besides YouTube if I get my certification? Can I get rich, Bob?
What kinds of opportunities? Well, let me be brief. No, of course I can't be brief. You've already established that. So the getting rich part, yeah, no, not likely. But who knows? There are some people out there that are raking it in. They're in the right place at the right time, putting the right amount of blood, sweat, and tears into what they're doing. They're devoted to it. So yeah, you can make money if you can afford to do it full time. I mean, I'm making some money, but not enough to even support the venture at this point. But I also have a full-time job as a family nurse practitioner, which comes first because it pays the bill. So if you want to get rich off what you're doing, number one, every day strive to be the best. Every day strive to be better, and plan to put a large portion of each day into it, thinking up new ideas, coming out with new stuff, going places. Best of luck to you. if you're going to go into business for yourself, narrow down. And if you look at my YouTube channel, you can see I have a hard time narrowing down or finding a niche. And I had that problem with my company. So I had business cards printed up. I could go get some. I'll just have to climb through all the equipment, so I'm not going to do it. But I advertised myself as doing land survey, real estate, video and photography, crop inspections, 2D and 3D high-res imaging, commercial work, and so on and so on. And yes, indeed, I could do all of that stuff. But no, indeed, I could not do all of that stuff well. You have to figure out what your niche is, what you do well, and take that. If you do decide you want to make money, you should probably start a limited liability company. And I have a single member limited liability company, which is beautiful. It means I'm the president. There's nobody else in the company. When I have meetings, I meet with myself. And yeah, you do have meetings and you meet with yourself and you keep meeting minutes. It sounds crazy, but it's how you protect the personal Bob side from the professional Bob side. And let me give you an instance why that's important. Let's say I'm inspecting a power line for some company and my drone drops onto the power line, like it would really do any damage to my drone, or it would do damage to my drone, but like it would do damage to the power line, but I guess it really could. And I knock out power for 10,000 people, and perishables perish, and people on ventilators don't ventilate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, somebody's coming after Bob, the professional. And as long as Bob the professional has his limited liability company and I'm running things by the book, having my minutes, I have a registered agent, I've crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's, then they can sue Bob the professional, but they can't sue Bob the private guy. So they could come in and take my drone and my cameras and all that stuff eventually I can replace, but they can't touch my house or my cars or my family stuff. So that's why you would want to, I won't say sincerely, but seriously, consider starting an LLC. And once again, there's a ton of information out there. I'm looking at a book right now called Nolo's Quick LLC. I have LLCs for dummies. I watch videos. What is that girl's name? She's an attorney in Denver. Adrian Kramer, I think. She hasn't done any videos for about a year, and I wish she would because she has a lot of good stuff on LLCs. So, like getting your Part 107, if you want to start a business, put the work, the time, and the effort into your LLC. It's a pain. You get notices from the state government. I'm in Texas about sales use tax, and you got to pay these taxes. I have something coming up the 22nd I have to pay. So when you're just a single member, and I'm not using a CPA because I don't think anything's complicated enough for a CPA, it can be a little bit of work, but it has to be what you want to do. So Dan, I appreciate the chance to talk about this. One thing became obvious while I was making this, we can't cover everything in one video. So if our viewers like this format and they'd like to learn more about starting an LLC or getting their Part 107 or whatever, ask Dan and Bob. I would be more than happy to go on from here. It's just kind of fun. We're having a hard time getting stuff together because of the holidays and things happen in our personal lives. And quite frankly, the flu season in Texas has been kicking my butt. This is my one day off and I'm trying to shove a lot into it. So Part 107 isn't for everybody. For some people, it's going to be more of a hindrance than a help. When I first saw the gentleman on Ready, Set, Drone, I believe his name is Kelly, talking about Part 107 certification, I thought, that's stupid. It effectively puts handcuffs on you and makes you easy to prosecute. And I'll never do that. I just want to fly my drone. And then as I got more and more serious into it, I realized, yeah, in a way, it put handcuffs on you, but in another way, it really frees you up. So if you guys have any questions, you can put them in Dan's comments or my comments. I'm sure we'll both be more than happy to get to them. And I hope you enjoyed this, Dan. I hope you enjoyed making this with me. And y'all have a great day.
Bob, I really want to thank you and say how appreciative I am of you doing this collaboration with me. Heck, I got to ask some questions and I didn't even get shot. So I think I am definitely interested in pursuing getting my 107, and I think you've mapped it out pretty well. I could ask 100 questions, and this thing could go on forever. So I'm like you, if you're interested in doing a series, and if the viewers are interested in seeing a series with more questions about the 107 and other drone topics, just let me and Bob know in the comments. I think Bob would be happy to do it, and I know I would. So, like always, Bob, good evening, buddy. Appreciate it. Peace.